I was trying to think of what to say to start off this video, but then there was a massive accident at the end of my road, so everyone's all right, but that was certainly an interesting start.
Yes, us, girly pops. It's Finny. I'm back with another reaction video. Okay, so today we have a couple of things to go over, all right? First of all, let's just get it out of the way. New mic, new camera. Uh, Thanks to my husband who just recently commented on one of my YouTube videos, and I was like, oh, didn't know you watched. Anyways, so we're going to be watching this video by Amber, which is called I Shouldn't Admit This, Zachary Michael, and Deleting Comments. Let's Talk, Episode 1. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. But first, I think we need to discuss what Destiny posted earlier today, I believe. Okay, kind of. So this was Destiny's community tab. And she put, in light of everything happening right now, I was looking through old messages and found these screenshots between me and a close friend at the time of our breakup. Amberlynn wants to make all of her exes look hungry for attention and money and just out to get her. But she's treated all of us badly and still doesn't seem to care that she did at all. In these messages, I talked about how I felt in those moments, and I think looking back, it's really telling. I didn't even realize I was feeling this way or remember a lot of everything going on. The last month of our relationship was like walking on eggshells, and I was in full blown survivor mode. Yet I still supported her after I found a new partner and went out of my way for her. But I used her? Right. Okay. So for some reason, these screenshots do not like to show up on desktop, which cool feature, YouTube. But luckily, Despectful Moments on Instagram has them. And they're screenshots, like Destiny said, from a Snapchat between her and a friend. So let's go through them because I thought they were very interesting and, like Destiny said, very telling. So me is Destiny, the red and the blue is the friend. Obviously, the information is redacted. And this is January 14th, 2017. So this is the day after they broke up. Because remember, they broke up on Friday the 13th. So Destiny says, friend. They say, yes, we broke up. Are you okay? What are you feeling? I've been over it for so long, and nothing I was saying mattered. And I'm in my room alone, about to play Sims. Am I a bad person for not feeling anything? Like, why am I so numb? I mean, I guess it would be nice if you knew everything as well. So I'm going to say it like, when I first broke up with the narcissist that I was with, I cried and I cried and I cried. And it was this weird feeling of a combination of relief and sadness for the years I put into the relationship and the feeling of like, what this person was telling me kind of making me feel like I would never genuinely find anyone. And obviously that's a lie. I have a wonderful husband. So like I win. But after that, it is like a feeling of numbness. And I did communicate with him afterwards. It's like this disconnect because you're trying to be like a survivor. You're in survival mode and you are just trying to protect your peace, however that may be. And by the way, Amber, that's what protecting your peace means. It's making sure that you don't spiral out of control. It doesn't mean going on a spiral. You're not a bad person for not feeling anything. Sometimes people who have been together for so long and they start to feel that gravity that was pulling them together is now pushing them apart. You got tired, you felt it so much that it is a constant feeling which leaves you numb. I don't need to know the past. I wasn't meant to know. I've met you now, so this is where I start. I get to see the now and the future. I'm the fresh look, dude. That may have sound not as awesome as it was in my head. I understand the sentiment, and I think it's a very poignant one, that after a while you get so used to certain acts that you just are unfazed by them at that point. And I will say, like, this is immediately after they broke up. When I broke up with my ex, I was completely flat. Like, my affect was totally flat. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't crying except for like one moment where I was discussing how he treated me. I did nothing. I just was very even tone because I felt numb. And I went home and I cried to my parents because, you know, they're a safe space for me. I'm very lucky in that way. But I totally understand what this person is saying. I understand what Destiny was saying. And yeah, I think this too, being like having someone who has a fresh set of eyes is always helpful, because that's sort of your awakening, is when someone else comes to you and says, this isn't right. This, how you were treated or how you're being treated isn't right. So I'm glad that Destiny had this person to be there immediately after the fact. Destiny said, "You're literally so awesome, though. What you said makes sense." I meant, like, what happened today that sparked all of this madness, by the way, not the past. You need to take time for yourself. You may have gotten lost in that relationship, so step out of the bubble, experience new things, breathe, get a new perspective or outlook, and re-meet yourself now. I get it. New things happen. So again, it's a very good point that sometimes you do lose yourself in a relationship. And when it's like this, when it's with someone who is as controlling and manipulative and narcissistic as Amber. So I think that's a very good point to take a moment and relearn yourself. And obviously that didn't really happen. Destiny was young in this. She was like 21. So she almost immediately got into a new relationship, and a very serious one at that. And I don't think that was the right choice, but again, she was young. So I'm glad she's in a much better place now. What started all of this is, like, she got mad at me on last break because the last 15 minutes of lunch I didn't text her back. I was out there talking to you and B. If I had told her that, she would have been pissed off. So I told her they made an announcement. I know that was really stupid, but either way, she'd be pissed off. That's, again, a very controlling and manipulative thing. Well, you knew what was coming. You didn't do it to piss her off. You did it to protect her feelings. These redacted names, I know who Destiny is talking about, but because I don't, I respect that they have been redacted, I will not say who it is, but I know exactly who it is, and this person was a shit stirrer and was basically a spy for Amber. Nice, huh? So then when we got off of work, she asked blank if they talked to us, and blank said no. Then she was yelling at me for lying, and it turned into this. Because she was calling me every name in the book, screaming, and I am honestly scared of her. She hits the wall. She's never hit me, but it's scary. Exactly, but it's also pretty sad that I had to lie so she wouldn't be mad. This part, someone says it in the comments here, right here, Liz. That's very sad and telling. Punching the walls and yelling is DV. And it is. It is a
show of power and a show of violence and a show of anger. It's meant to belittle and frighten the person. It's meant to uh, make them scared of repeating whatever argument or behavior that occurred. Again, I am very familiar with this. Throwing things, hitting the walls. It's scary. And like not just like, not like there I'm sure, like sometimes you toss something in anger or whatever. I get it. This is like mid argument or because you said something. It's not like, oh, I had a bad day. You throw your phone on the couch. Like, oh, work sucked. You throw your jacket, whatever. Like those things are different. This is to intimidate someone. So then the friend says, well, if she is that angry and looks to hurt you physically, you get her help and then find help for you. Nope. Go get your self-help first. Her, doesn't matter. Bye. See ya. Out the door. That's easier said than done. And like I said, I'm very well aware. It is sad. It's sad. It's at that point where lying is the only way to help someone. And that's when you step back and reevaluate. She is. Until I broke up with her, I literally did everything. The house was awful because I don't get home till late, Ambie, LOL. But we go right to bed when I get besides me. I don't know what that means. Taking Twinkie out, feeding all of them, including her, and then getting myself squared away. I get that you got those vibes. She really is just a shitty person a lot of the time. And she comes off as a bitch a lot. It's like the world owes her something. She blames on her parents and her brother, but she did this to herself. And that couldn't be more truthful. And again, it shows that she does not take care of the animals. She does not do things for herself. She really is just, I can't even, I don't know. She goes from person to person because she needs a caretaker. That's it. That's the long and the short of it. So Destiny posts, I have one more photo to share, but the community post only allows 5 images. So I'll leave this one here as well. And this one is really sad. I moved here to get closer to my mom. I haven't been around her for longer than a month or 2 since I was 9. Amberlynn ruined that, basically. We had to move out because my mom and her didn't get along. Once we moved out, I hardly see my mom or anyone in my family here. That is abuser tactic 101. It is like the number one thing that abusers will do. They will manipulate you and isolate you from your family and friends and everyone you care about. That is exactly what happened here. Amber totally isolated Destiny from people, but I think it's very telling that she isolated 2 people from their mothers. I don't know if that was because of jealousy or if it was because she wanted to be the center of attention. I'm not sure, but it's awful and I feel terrible. So now that we've set the tone, set the mood to like talk about Amber, why do I look like a little boy? I look like a little boy who's about to have confirmation or something. Like, I don't know. I don't know, dog. Like, I'm trying to vibe with this, but hold on. I was trying to go for like a vibe for the beginning portion. I thought it was like, oh, that's cute. No, it looks like doo doo. Looks like doo doo garbage. All right. Great. Well,
Now that we've set the tone for Miss Amberlynn. Great. I can't wait to get into this. Also, like, can you stop talking about Zach? Honestly, like, this is so tiresome. They want to be left alone. They're taking a break for their mental health, and you're just being an asshole at this point. So, whatever. That's pretty par for the course, I guess. I'm preparing myself. I'm preparing myself because I don't want to watch her. But let's that look on her face. Good job. Sorry, I'm being mean. Whatever. Like I'm sitting here looking like a potato, but like I will roast her for her looks too.
Hey guys, welcome to a new video. So this series is called Let's Talk. I have done this before years ago. It's definitely just a series where I can communicate and correspond with you guys. So unfortunately, my channel has thrived, but also died on a lot of different speculation, and I want to change that. I want to use my voice in situations where I normally wouldn't, and I want to
I asked this in the last video. When has anyone ever silenced you? When have you ever been silenced? When have you ever had that issue? Because you've had a YouTube for like over a decade. It has never been a thing. So, okay.
continue using my voice in situations where I already have. This is just a place for you guys to get to know me more, maybe in areas that you never would have.
I already
know
you.
Accountable, to clarify
I know
and
you
deny,
enough.
and just an overall correspondence between you and me every single week. So the reason I want to do this is because there's always questions, rumors, speculation, just things that people are, for lack of a better word, obsessively asking me about. And it kind of goes in cycles where it's like there's like 5 huge things that people are talking about ad nauseum. And I think this is a good opportunity.
Who taught her that? ChatGPT ad nauseum? Oh my god. Big words, Pookie.
Maybe I can answer those 5 things or whatever it may be. But regardless, I feel like my channel is very parasocial, let's be real. And there's always some
This is from ChatGPT. Parasocial, ad nauseum. She don't know what those words mean. No. There is absolutely no chance that she knows what these mean.
Some sort of speculation or always some sort of topic that people are like, Amberlynn, why won't you talk about this? So this is going to give me the opportunity to do so if you guys bring it up, of course. So I have structured the series into a special format and I'm really, really excited. So the first section is always going to start with sweet and sour. So sweet and sour is just going to be a random comment generator from the Let's Talk prior.
Oh shit, I'm so excited. We're going back to random comment of the day. Let's go.
So obviously, since this is episode 1, we're having to skip that part. But I came up with sweet and sour because you never know what kind of comment is going to pop up. Can it be a sweet comment? Or can it be a sour comment? Using a random comment generator is going to give me a wide variety of comments instead of just like going based off of like the top ones where I pick and choose, etc., etc.
Because all the top ones would absolutely be like, why are you a shit pet parent? Why are you an abuser? Why aren't you losing weight? Why aren't you on semaglutide? What happened between you, Beck, and Destiny and all your exes? Why were you with a feeder? Like, that's what all the questions would be. Like, let's be real. Oh, and what happened to Rarity?
So this next section I'm calling Sippin' Community. I know, I'm very clever. Thank you. So this is where I read from the community tab that I will be posting every single Monday. So it gets time
Why
for
she
the
have
questions
those sunglasses
and anything you guys
on?
need me to speak about for them all to just fall under that community tab. And then after Sippin' Community, we're going to be doing the Linterview. Yes, I know, more cleverness from your girl. So the Linterview is where you guys are actually interviewing me with your voice. Yes. So
Oh my fucking... I don't know if I can do this, y'all. Like, I really don't. Like, I was looking at my eye, and my right eye is like droopier than my left eye. I think it is naturally, but that's usually what happens when I start getting a migraine. And God, she really is a migraine trigger.
I told everyone over on my Instagram, send me a microphone emoji so I can accept your request. and that gives you the opportunity to send me a voice memo asking any question you want. So I have not listened to any of them. It is going to literally be live, real reaction. I am very nervous. So if you guys want to go to my Instagram for next week, literally go to my Instagram at hectic.ambie, send me a microphone. I'm going to send you a smiley face emoji back, and then you can send me a voice memo, because Instagram has it to where you can only send me a voice memo if I accept your first message request. So anyways, after the interview, the next section is called Tea or Tale. So what this is going to be is I am going to clarify rumors that I have heard through the grapevine, and I'm going to tell you, yeah, that's real, or no, that's actually not true.
And we're supposed to just suspend disbelief and say, yeah, she's definitely telling the truth on this. What the fuck?
The last section is going to be bad choices, and I just remembered I forgot to.
Everything in your life. Everything. Literally. Your birth.
Actually bring the cards over here, so I need to go get those. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. So bad choices is just a bunch
it's a fucking game. I thought it was like she was going to say, oh, what's a bad choice that I've made this week? Every choice that involves her.
Really hectic questions. So
if I have to hear the fucking word hectic or hecticana one more time, I swear to God, I cannot be liable for my behavior. I simply can't. Like, I really don't know what to do about it. It's a problem.
I'm going to be choosing 5 of those and answering them. So I know this introduction was super long. We will not be doing that in the future videos. I just kind of wanted to talk about what the series is about. So let's get into it. Okay, sadly, we are skipping over sweet and sour because I can't do it. And we're going to go straight to sip and community. Have you considered that your refusal to do inpatient treatment could be linked to a drug addict's refusal to do rehab? No, because I actually think doing inpatient would be fun. I know a lot of people are going to be like, fun, that's really the adjective you're going to use for that.
That's such bullshit. It's because she has no fucking idea what it would be like. It would be disastrous for her. Like, could you imagine? She would be miserable the entire time. She would be like, because she wouldn't have any control over anything. She would hate it. She would be miserable.
The reason why I choose not to do inpatient is because it is extremely expensive, and I have a job. Not only do I have a job I have to do to keep the roof over my head, the electricity running, and the food in my fur baby's stomach, but I have fur babies that need to be taken care of. I know the eyes could be dot and
oh, please. As if you have ever cared about them, you uprooted them to go live in Wisconsin for 3 months with a feeder. I don't really want to hear about, oh, I care so much about my fur babies. Like, in what universe? Because it's certainly not this one. Maybe in a parallel one, there's a nice Amberlynn that actually cares about her pets and family, but not here.
And the T's could be crossed. Like, my mom could probably watch my fur babies, but like, it's the job thing for me. If I was to be able to go into inpatient and be able to vlog.
You have a job where you can take off time. You have a job where you can absolutely 110% take off time and take care of your health. Most people cannot say that. Most people can't say, oh, I can take off 3 months, 6 months and rely on residuals. Maybe if you just stopped spending certain money, like on Uber Eats and on trinkets from Amazon and Legos, because Legos are fucking expensive, you could actually afford it. And you could have afforded it like a few times over before. You just never chose to because you are too lazy and I think it's too much work. This whole, well, I have a job is just a bullshit excuse. You have the perfect job where you are self-employed. You're self-employed, Amber. Really, don't give me that.
Vlog my whole experience and upload, still make an income so I can still pay my bills, then I would do it. Why is it okay for you to make assumptions about ZM's mental health, but when your audience does it, it's mental health shaming? So I've never really made an assumption about his mental health. Months and months ago when I said, whoa, what a quinky dink, Zachary Michael's mental health gets bad when I take a break from YouTube. I think that was my way of just being like, okay, if you can dish it, I expect you're gonna be able to take it.
No, shut your fucking mouth, Amber. Honestly, you are so nasty when it comes to other people's mental health. Zach said their mental health was not doing well at that time and they needed to take a break. And then you come on here and say, isn't that convenient that when I take a break or I'm not uploading, then Zachary takes a break too, or it's their mental health. No, don't try and spin this into something that it's not, because you not only did this once, now you've done it twice. where you've made fun of them for taking a break and said that, oh, it's because you're not uploading. No, you dingus. It's because they're taking a break. They've been through a lot. I think that people are absolutely more than welcome to take a break and address their mental health, because it's just as important as physical health and it can affect physical health. I've even said it about you. You should take a mental health break when you need to. It's, that's fine. I wouldn't shame you for doing that. It's fine. And I've encouraged it before, and I know plenty of other channels have. I know Karina Kaboom has said it many, many, many times. But you won't, because you spiraling gets you money. That's the truth of the matter.
There have been times where he has mocked me about my mental health or a heartbreak, a relationship, just some way that I was feeling. I have felt mocked. I have felt hurt. I'm allowed to feel that way. And in my brain, I was like, okay, he's been doing this for years. Now it's my turn. Have you traveled?
You're allowed to feel that way, but if anyone else feels a certain way about you, well, then it's mental health shaming. Well, then it's ableism. Well, then it's fat phobia. Well, then it's fill in the blank for whatever you want. But if anyone else feels a certain way, like Zach felt a certain way about you, and, them talking about you is them expressing how they feel, and it's from shit you put online and the shit that you DM them and the fact that you won't leave them alone, yeah, I think they are more than welcome to express their feelings about you. And you can feel whatever you're feeling, Amber. You're so valid in your feelings. But you cannot continually perpetuate this community of, or I shouldn't really say community because you don't really have one, but this sort of aura of negativity and nastiness, because that's what you are. And maybe that's why you attract it, because since you're such a spiritual girly and you are connected to the universe, you should know what you put out is what you get back in return. So you put out nastiness and you put out all this negative, mean, rotted energy. That's what you're going to get back. Sorry, girly pop. I'm so sorry.
Traveled the world since breaking up with Beck? No, but I have traveled. I went to Oklahoma. I've went to Wisconsin. I've went to Tennessee. I've went to Michigan. And I forgot to say, I've been to Illinois since then. Chicago, hello, a Billie Eilish concert. And I've done things that I wouldn't have. So based on your physical health and your track record for change.
Whatever. Bye. 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 I don't care.
Based on your physical health and your track record for change, what do you estimate your life expectancy to be? And what will you do with that time? So this is kind of like gruesome, but based on how I feel and the things that I go through, probably somewhere in my 50s, and I feel like early 50s. I don't know why. Like that's when
That's pathetic. It's sad to hear someone say, "Oh, I think I'm going to live to my 50s," when they're 34. Okay. That is sad. And the thing is, you have all the opportunity in the world to change that, to do something about it. So do something about it.
my grandma died actually was when she was 51, but like the number 53 keeps popping in my head and slightly 54. That's a very gruesome question. And what will I do with that time? It depends. Like, am I trying to better myself?
Nothing.
Whether that be physically, emotionally, mentally, etc., which is
She's gonna
where
do
I'm at
nothing.
right now, or am I just going to just flop like a fish and not care about anything?
That.
I want to say it's
that one.
this over here. So by doing this over
No,
here,
it's the other
that means I
side.
might see my 60s. I think regardless of which one I choose.
I might see my 60s. Bitch, people live to be 80, 90, 100. In this day and age, it's like almost unheard of to be dying that early, unless like, you know, there's a predisposition for something. But for you to come on here and say, well, maybe then I can live to my 60s, it's like, that's crazy and sad and pathetic. You have all the opportunity in the world to change that, all of it, but you don't want to, because it's better to be this sort of crash out queen and get rage likes and views and make the money at this point in time, but I don't even know what to say to that, because it's just it just irritates me, because she has ample opportunity and there are so many people who do not have that, and she just squanders it every time.
I'll never see my 70s, and that's kind of a sad reality. How does it feel knowing you've been stuck in a time loop for the last decade, when your watchers have graduated college with masters, gotten married, etc.? The world is evolving around you, yet you haven't changed a thing. So first of all, to those...
Oh, fuck. That one just absolutely read her for filth, top to bottom. Like, oh, Jesus. That was a Tale of Two Cities reading. And she's going to spin this in some weird way. Oh, congratulations to those who have gotten masters and graduated. No. What they're saying is you are stagnant. You've nary a change in your life. You have done nothing. You are the same person you were 10 years ago. Like, we have seen it. No matter how much you want to say, oh, I'm different. Oh, I've done all this stuff. Oh, I've blah, blah, blah. I've experienced more shit. Okay. Well, you traveled with Destiny. You traveled with Beck. Granted, like, not much, but you traveled. You didn't travel with Jade. I'll give you that one, because you were hiding her. And you traveled with Emily. You traveled with Crystal too. So you did all of that. You treated them all pretty much the same. You used them all for whatever they had available. You tried to isolate them all. 2 of them needed an intervention to get away from you. And all of them have dumped you. And your personality is the exact same that it's always been.
Those who have graduated college with masters, hell yeah, props to ya. But I do want to say everyone's timeline is completely different. Some people get married when they're 18, some people get married when they're freaking 62. You know, more people than you think have very routine, boring, everyday lives. Like, they get up, they shower, they have their breakfast, they head to work, they come home, they have dinner, they relax, and that's that. Like, a lot of people do have that.
That's not what they're saying, okay? That is fundamentally misunderstanding the question on purpose. What they are saying is not, oh, I can't believe that you have a routine that you do. Lots of people have that. And especially people who are neurodivergent have, like, very strict set routines that they do. But what this person meant is that you have not changed as a person. Not one little iota. You are absolutely 110% Amber Reed. You have never, ever tried to better yourself. You have never, ever tried more than a tiny little bit for a very short period of time to go to some sort of therapy to deal with the issues you have. You have never tried to make amends with the partners you have hurt and abused and traumatized. You have never once apologized for these things and actually meant it. You have never once said that you were sorry for losing and rehoming cats over and over again. You have not changed one bit. So your little tangent about, well, people have their routines and everyone's different and blah, 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 and everyone's timeline is different. That's not what they're talking about. They're talking about you at your core, while other people all around you have changed and grown and become the people that they are meant to be, or they are working on themselves to become the best version of themselves. You, Amberlynn Reed, are sitting here stuck at 519 pounds, just like you were, over and over and over again. It is Groundhog Day with you.
life. And I think that we just need to be grateful to be alive regardless. Just because someone is married versus someone who isn't, that doesn't make one of them better than the other versus someone graduated with masters versus someone who didn't. It doesn't make one of them better than the other. I have my accomplishments. I have things in my life that make me extremely happy, but this is my life and my routine. I've been stuck in a time loop when it comes to my weight. I will admit that. But when it comes to like growing and bettering myself, I have not been stuck in a loop. 10 years ago,
You're the same person.
I could not have ever imagined myself not only being single, but living by myself. That would have never happened. 10 years ago, I could not imagine myself making amazing money, using my own debit card, being able to not only...
Okay, but you're making amazing money. You're making amazing money. And yet we cannot afford to look into payment plans or anything or health insurance that may help with inpatient treatment for yourself, especially since this is like life or death for you. So we're making amazing money, okay? But we can't spend it on things that would actually make us better. Make it make sense.
Only take care of myself, but my fur babies having a roof over my head. If I want it, I buy it. If I need it, I buy it. I never imagined having that type of life. Yes, I suffered with BPD 10 years ago and I still do to this day.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. No, you don't. Shut the fuck up. You know what? After my last video, I am going to take a stand because normally I don't come on here and say, yes, you have this or no, you don't. I don't think so, Miss Ma'am. And I think that you saying that is disingenuous. I think you saying this, oh, my BPD, my blah, 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 blah. I don't care. You know what? I genuinely don't care. I don't think you have it. And I think that you are so excited to be labeling yourself as having it because you can be like, look at my extreme emotions. Like, I'm so BPD. BPD Lynn. I don't think you have it.
Day, but 10 years ago it was way worse. In that, I never imagined being able to be by myself and enjoying alone time because I was always so, oh my god, I need my partner and like I can't be alone ever.
You're still like that. Shut up. The fact of the matter is that you just can't find someone right now. You have not been without someone for 10 years. And this small little gap doesn't count. Not at all. Be with yourself for a couple years before you start spewing off about, wow, how independent you are.
Not even for 5 minutes. And now I'm alone for days and days at a time and I'm okay. So you might see it as a loop. I don't. You know your comment section is public, right? Why lie about getting so much support? We can all see what people are saying to you, Amber.
Yes, get her. Yeah, literally. That's what I was saying. Like, where? Like, she says, oh, it's in my DMs. Okay, so all of your support is in your DMs. Damn, that sucks.
So I get a lot of private support, which I completely understand because when someone supports me publicly, they get actually bashed and attacked, and it's really sad. For some reason, the haters cannot accept that there are people who actually like me and enjoy my content, and they can't accept a different opinion than theirs. So I get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of DMs weekly of people who are very, very supportive because
we know that you have some supporters. Like, duh, everyone does. Everyone has some supporters no matter what. Like, trust me, we're finding out more and more each day in America just who has some supporters, even though they absolutely shouldn't. But you, Amber, like, you always come on here, you brag so much about all this support I get. I have been seeing so much support. I am just feeling the love from all my supporters. It has grown exponentially. And then people are like, where? Can you point me in the direction? I'm very bad with directions, so you really need to guide me to it. Where are all these supporters? Because nary a comment is nice and being like, you're so right, bestie. They're all calling you out just like this.
They can't do that publicly. So when I say thank you for the support, I genuinely mean it because the people who message me on Instagram are also watching my videos and these videos are also for them. All right, so this is the last one. Bah ha 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 ha. You are literally deleting comments. I was reading one in the middle of it. Poof, it was gone and it's nowhere to be seen. So I didn't delete any comments on the community tab because I wanted to go into it completely raw. YouTube actually has a section where they automatically do it themselves. If something is a little too hecticana, for the lack of a better word, it goes into a completely different...
There are no lack of better words than hecticana. If it's looking a little too inappropriate, if it's looking a little too spicy, if it's not part of the moderation that you have set up for it. Because, bestie, I'm doing this right now. And I set my, I don't really have any moderation on my comments because I don't really get a whole lot. But when I set it up, I have the option to set up how much I allow or what words I allow. And then it screens it. So if someone's in the middle of reading a comment and it disappears, it was probably you.
Different section, and I have to approve the comment, but I never look at those, so you're never going to see that comment again. All right, so the next section is the linterview.
This sounds like lint.
All right, let me get to my Instagram. I am beyond
like dryer lint.
Okay. Take a deep breath. It's gonna be fine. All right, here we go.
If you didn't have the obstacles that you have in your life, I'm thinking specifically about your weight or maybe some of the trauma-related obstacles, what different twists and turns do you think your life would have taken? Let's imagine you didn't do YouTube, and you didn't have childhood trauma, and you didn't have your weight standing in your way. Where would you see yourself now?
Okay, so if I didn't have childhood trauma and I didn't have these weight issues, where do I see myself now? Honestly, probably like in LA. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really know what I'd be doing for a job or anything like that. Like, I don't like to hype myself up too hard, but I feel like I would be an attractive person if I was thin. I mean, I think I'm pretty now. I mean, sometimes I feel super ugly, but my mom is gorgeous. She was super gorgeous when she was younger. And I know without all my extra, I would look very, very different. And I think I would really be successful in LA. I don't really know what I would be doing, but I think I would be thriving. I have a feeling I would be thriving for sure. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, Amberlynn, why did you bring up what you would look like? It's because sadly, society is shallow. And I feel like people who...
Amber, I do not give a flying fuck what you look like. What I care about is that you're just a nasty person. Truly, you could weigh this weight. And if you were really nice and just a genuinely good person, I would have nothing to say at all whatsoever. But you're just not. You're not a nice person. So, and yes, of course, there are some people who are going to base how they feel on her with her weight. But that's not what I see. What I see is a mean person with a mean, gutted soul.
Who are more attractive, they get further in life and they're treated better, etc.
Hi Amber, thank you so much for accepting my request. I just wanted to ask you, if you could talk to yourself 10 years ago, what would you say and what advice would you give? And also, if you could see yourself 10 years in the future, where would you like to be? And how do you see yourself? Again, thank you so much.
So 10 years ago, I was 34. So I without a doubt would tell myself, lose weight, girl.
10 years ago, you were not 34, you were 24. Come on. You and I, we're in this together. Remember, I made the mistake with the math before. You're making a mistake with the math now. We're in this together. Rudimentary. Just an FYI, someone asked her, about the butterfly effect and what one thing she could change in her life, and it dealt with SA. And I'm not going to include that.
Like, you're going to get cancer in a few years, so you need to lose weight, you need to go to the gyno regularly, and you need to know the YouTube game. So let me sit down, write down a bunch of notes for you, and I'm going to teach you the YouTube game to where you can play the YouTube game. You can have fun with it, but you can also stop yourself from sharing certain things that you shouldn't share. And girl, you also have BPD, so go to therapy.
Oh my God, no the fuck
there's just so many things that I would tell myself.
You have MPD and probably histrionic. You're so fitted to that one.
So if I could see myself in 10 years from now, I will be 44. I hope that obviously I weigh a lot less. I hope that my health has improved, my mental health. I can't even imagine myself in the 40s. Holy, that is weird. I hope that I'm married. I know that sounds crazy because I said I don't ever want to be
If you continue this abusive pattern of behavior and you continue to act the way you do towards your partners, that will never happen. Ever. Especially since you want someone to propose to you. That won't happen unless they're equally as bad.
in a relationship again, but fuck it. A decade from now, I hope that I'm married. I hope that I'm happy. I was about to say,
You'll never be happy because you are just an unhappy person. Nothing makes you happy. Absolutely nothing, except maybe yourself. Looking at yourself might make you happy, but like there is not a single thing that I can think of where you were genuinely happy, except maybe that one time where you were at the beach with Destiny when you first met. That's about the only time I can think of.
I hope that I still have Wasabi and Twinkie, but oh, okay, my heart just broke. Moving
Shut
on.
up.
Okay, so this is the last one.
Do you think you'll ever do ASMR again? I'm not gonna lie, your old ASMR videos, especially the like candy bowl engine one, has been a guilty pleasure of mine.
Don't venture into that, please, for the love of Christ. Like, I like ASMR, and all of her stuff was so boring. It was just like her typing, and I like typing, but it was like this weird setup where we were like, it felt like we were in her lap. I've seen the video. It felt like we were in her lap and she was like typing on the computer. It was so strange. Also, I don't believe for a second that these weren't filtered or pre-selected, because you're telling me that 4 of these messages were all nice and supportive. I don't think so, ma'am. If you were actually doing this like randomly, oh no. No.
For like the past week. Sorry, this had to be weight related. That's just been living rent free in my brain.
Oh my god, I live for that question. You know how many people actually tell me that they like my ASMR videos? Like, it genuinely shocks me. I actually don't think that I will ever make like a separate ASMR video again. I think majority of people actually hate it, but a lot of people do like it, so I appreciate that. All right, now it is time for tea or tail.
Oh good, lie
So
or
rumor
lie.
number 1 is you cannot be diagnosed with BPD by a psychologist, let alone one that doesn't specialize in BPD. That is a tail. That is a big tail. So you can be diagnosed with BPD.
I don't think that's true, because it is a psychological disorder, and doctors like psychologists and psychiatrists, they have a degree in psychology. It's why they're allowed to diagnose. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I just wanted to double check so I didn't come off as misinformed. Yeah, that is a lie. You absolutely can be diagnosed with a personality disorder by a like general a general psychologist or psychiatrist. It doesn't matter. They both have the scope of practice to diagnose those. They may refer you to someone who specializes in it, but no, yeah. Really, it's a quick Google search. You can find out. But I was like pretty sure. It's a lie. You do not have to have some specialist. That would mean though you would have to have a specialist for every disorder. It would be kind of silly.
By a psychiatrist, psychologists, and by social workers. And they do not
Licensed clinical social workers can make a diagnosis. Non-clinical social workers, I don't think can.
not have to specialize in BPD in the same way, like if you're diagnosed with depression or you're diagnosed with bipolar disorder, like they don't have to be like a specialized like psychologist just for those things. All right, rumor number 2, Amberlynn lied about when she posted her ER pictures to Snapchat. That is also a tale. That is not true. So in my reaction to Salty Crab, where I was talking about like so many people didn't believe I had cancer, so many people didn't believe that I was rushed to the ER and that I was gushing blood and blah blah blah, I mentioned the times where I posted my blood pictures on Snapchat, and I also mentioned where I literally showed medical confirmation, like my medical paperwork, in a YouTube video. And I jumbled all that nonsense together in the reaction, and I saw a couple people where they were just like, oh my god, Amberlynn's lying, like she didn't even post like those pictures until like May, but then it was like actually June where like she showed the medical stuff. And yes, that is true. So in the Salty Crab reaction, I said during that time, and I also said in the impulsive state of mind that I was in. So I'm talking about 2 different incidences, which is the Snapchat photos, the medical paperwork YouTube, that happened within different months, but it was the same head frame. So what made me post the Snapchat photos? Because people were like, Amberlynn, that's not true. You were not rushed to the ER gushing blood. And I was like, yes, I was. Here's proof. And then me posting medical paperwork was because people were like, Amberlynn, you were never diagnosed. That's not true. And then I was like, well, here's proof.
Okay, so let's get this out of the way. Amberlynn showed proof, and genuine proof, not just like a typed out notes app thing. There's actual medical proof that she had endometrial cancer. She had endometrial carcinoma, I believe. And so the one she had was it stage 1B grade 2 endometrial carcinoma, I believe is what she had. And that is an actual diagnosis of a cancer. Carcinoma is cancer. So she had a tumor in her uterus that was going into like the uterine wall. And so stage 1, it's early. It hasn't spread anywhere. It's like in one certain place. There isn't any spreading to like lymph nodes, or there's no metastasizing. And then the grade 2, it meant that it was like over 50% in there. So yeah, she absolutely 110% had cancer. And I think the question was whether she had precancerous cells or actual cancer, because you can have precancerous cells or polyps that are malignant, and these things are usually dealt with in a different way. But no, she had full-blown cancer, and I'm not going to pretend like she didn't. And I've always pretty much believed that she did. I think there was a certain period of time where everyone was kind of questioning it because of the question of precancerous cells versus cancer cells. And yeah, so she had cancer, and she had a hysterectomy to remove, I think she had her uterus and her like tubes and ovaries removed. I think she had everything removed, which is a very, very, very big surgery. It's a very big surgery to have, and I'm not going to take that away from her, obviously. But the thing is with her, and I think the thing that confused a lot of people too, is that she's had no oncological follow-up. I believe she did very soon after, because she was taking estrogen and then stopped taking it, but she's never had a follow-up with an oncologist, which I think made people very confused and felt like she was not being completely truthful about what happened. But I don't think that is because she's not truthful about having cancer. I think that's because she is lazy and just never went to a follow-up, which at her age and her, with everything going on with her, she absolutely should have. And the thing is with gynecological cancers, there are certain cancers where you catch them and it's kind of like, whoop, that's that. We caught it in time. It was either encapsulated tumors, whatever. So the likelihood of it spreading is very low. But with gynecological cancers and things like breast cancer, those are terribly insidious, and they can make a nasty comeback real quick. Not that it would be obviously not in her uterus or ovaries or anything like that, because she doesn't have them, but it can make a comeback somewhere else, because once you've had cancer, you are very likely to have something happen again. Or like the risk increases for you to have cancer again. So I think it's very, 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 it's a poor choice to not see someone in follow-up. But again, like I said, she had cancer. There's no getting around it. She absolutely 100% had cancer.
So both of those instances was just me not being able to regulate my emotions, me not being able to like ignore the shit. So instead it made my like impulse instincts, like it was gone. I had zero impulse skills. Like I was just like, I'm gonna show this. I'm gonna show this. I couldn't regulate myself.
I think that was stupid though. That's very stupid, and it's inappropriate for you to do with your audience. And I think you should say, I should not have done that. Period. Like, I understand being upset and being like, okay, you think I wasn't serious about my cancer? Well, here you go. Don't show your like blood in the toilet. That is not okay.
myself. But thankfully since then I have gotten better with that. Am I perfect? No. I think that's a reason why I've stopped like demeaning myself in certain areas. People are like, let me see the BPD diagnosis. People are like, let me see proof that you have a kidney that's 6 millimeters big. And I'm like,
Do you mean a kidney stone? Okay. So, first of all, I don't believe you have BPD. There. Second of all, a kidney stone that's 6 millimeters big it's pretty big, but I had a kidney stone and it started off as like that big, and then I think it kind of broke up. Girl, if you have a 6 millimeter kidney stone, oh boy, just pray that it stays where it's at, because I had to pass mine. Oh my god, they had to give me morphine. It was so bad. I have never felt a pain like that. It woke me up from a dead sleep. Oh my god, my husband had to bring me to the ED, and I was like crying the whole time. It was so painful. Oh my god. So, and the thing is too, when it's in there, it hurts too. It does not feel nice. Oh my god, but passing it, oh no, never again. I never want that to happen again, ever, 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 ever. And that's part of the reason why I was like losing weight, and also like why I drink more fluids, because the likelihood of it recurring is pretty high when you have one. Yeah, it'll happen again possibly. It's you have a higher chance of it, so I don't want to deal with that again. It sucked.
no, like I have boundaries and I respect my boundaries.
You
In the
do?
past,
No, you don't. You are a liar. You respect boundaries. Is that why you're always in Zach's DMs? Like, after they told you not to DM them? Is that what we call respecting boundaries? You're such a liar. You're a lie.
because I was bad at regulating, still am, but better. And that's just like
No, you're
another
not.
way of like showing that I have improved as a person. Because
How are you saying you're better at regulating when you've had like 3 crash out streams? Like, come on, girl. Like, we have eyes, we have ears, we have accessibility programs that all let us know that you are crashing out so often because you can't regulate your own emotions. Like, and don't blame it on BPD. That's all you, baby, homegrown.
because in the past, like crying hysterically while showing my medical records is crazy work. And posting on Snapchat such gruesome photos is also crazy work. And that is something I would never do now. Rumor number
You can call it crazy work, but you should really still apologize for it, because just because something's crazy work doesn't mean that you can just be like, oops, I was so crazy. Like, no, that was gross and not okay, not appropriate. Apologize.
number 3, which is the last rumor, Amberlynn uses a filter when live streaming.
Yes, she does.
That is also a tale. I'm literally a boomer
Oh.
when it comes to
You're a liar. We saw the difference. We saw the stark contrast in what you looked like in your live stream from your laptop and your live stream from your phone. And it's fine. If you want to use filters, go ahead. More power to you. But don't be surprised when people call you out to be like, that's not what you look like. Like right now, I'm telling you, I am doing the Lord's work with like some of this lighting, because when we first set up this camera, I was like, I look like a ghoul. So, and I'm not saying like, wow, I look so good all the time. No, I put filters on some things or do like some skin smoothing or whatever, but yours is James Charles Facetune.
anything like that. So the reason why it looks so different on my laptop versus on my phone is because the iPhone, I have the newest one, is literally crisp clear, as you guys can see. But my laptop literally sucks, as you guys can also see, because the internet's always shutting down and I'm always having to restart. You can literally tell that the webcam is super blurry. So it has nothing to do with the filter. I wouldn't even know how to put that on there. Literally, when I go live, I click on YouTube, I click go live, and that is literally the end of it. All right, now we're about to do bad choices.
Oh God, what is this?
So by the time that this whole series is done, maybe I will have answered every single one of these questions. I'm just going to randomly choose
Oh no,
5
that's a
and
lot
let's
of
get into it.
cards.
Have you ever told a friend they were being cheated on? I'm having to think. I don't think I've ever had to do that, no. But my memory does suck because last night in my live stream,
I'm trying to think if I've ever done that. I don't think I've ever been in that situation. But I've had to have some very serious, deep talks with friends to be like, your partner sucks. Leave them. Yeah, kind of wish someone had my back like that before. But yeah, I don't think I've ever... I don't think I've ever had to deal with, like, someone's cheating on you. Though I knew cheaters. I was like, okay, you're weird and I've lost respect for you.
I couldn't even remember the fucking high school that I graduated from. It was crazy, all right?
How do you not remember the high school you graduate from? Like, I know that raised suspicions for people to be like, girl, I know you said you want boundaries and you're not showing proof, but give me the GED. Give me the diploma. Peace. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't ask for that. But it does make for kind of a funny thing to be like, you don't remember where you graduated from? Dog. Come on.
Next one. In the past 30 days, have you sent or received a sex message? So in the last
Yes.
30 days, no. Nope.
Huh? I didn't know that stuff with, well, I guess that's over 30 days, huh? I'm sure she's fishing on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. Again, like I said, very James Charles of her.
Number 3. So this is like an all play question. So obviously, it's just me. So I'm gonna ask it as if it's just me. Could you go a month without masturbating? The answer is probably no. I mean, if
Let me just mind my business.
someone was like, don't masturbate for a month, like, I bet you, like, okay, I won't. But like, why would I? Number 4, have you ever apologized after sex? I'm sure I have. I don't know what for, but probably something. All right.
No. I don't really need to know these things, Amber, at all whatsoever. I know way too much about your sex life, and I've never asked for that, ever.
Right. Number 5, have you ever had a sexual partner who turned out to be gay? Well, I am gay, so that makes my partner gay. All right, so that is the end of...
What about a sexual partner that turned out to be straight? Like, well, I guess I wouldn't make them straight. I say as a bi person. Not me erasing my own kind. Whatever. But I can't believe I just said that. I'm such an idiot. I'm like, but what if... I'm dumb as fuck.
The first episode of the series. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Obviously, there are so many more voice memos, so many more things we could talk about, but I don't want to make this video super long. There will be another community tab for you guys on Monday. If I missed your question, just repeat it. And as the time goes on, we'll see. Maybe some of this will be taken out. Maybe no one likes the interview, or maybe no one likes the tear tail. I'm sure you guys
I don't like
do,
any of it.
Maybe eventually I'll add something new or take something out. It just all depends. See what we all like and how we enjoy it. But I hope that you guys did enjoy this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.
Oh my god, she's like endlessly the most boring person on the internet. That's why she does these live streams where she crashes out, because it's the only way that people will be like, wow, that was actually entertaining. But, oh golly, okay, well, that was terrible. Thoughts and prayers to the people who crashed outside my house today. Anyways, that's I don't really have any parting words for Ambie here. She is so bleh. I don't know what to say. Anyways, that's it for me for this one. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you thought. Did you love the interview? Did you love the town hall? What did you call it? Community. Did you like that? I really don't fucking care what she had. I did not pay attention that much to that part. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Leave a like if you are so inclined, or leave a dislike. I don't really care either way. You're entitled to your own opinion, even if they're wrong. That's it for me. I will see you all in the next one. Bye.